Hello, my dear friends. Have you ever felt nervous or confused when trying to start a conversation in English? You see someone you want to talk to, maybe at a coffee shop, in a park, during travel, in the office, or even online, but your mind suddenly goes blank. You don't know what to say, how to say it, or how to keep the conversation going. And then the moment passes. Again. You walk away feeling disappointed, telling yourself, next time I'll speak. But next time never comes. Why? Because the problem is not just English. The problem is confidence, comfort, and not having a simple plan in your head for how to begin a conversation naturally. That's what today's video is all about. How to start a conversation in English anywhere. I'm going to talk to you like a friend. No difficult grammar, no textbook teaching, just real, natural conversation. By the end of this video, you will feel ready to walk up to anyone, anywhere, and start speaking in English, even if your English is not perfect. Let's begin. First, understand this one truth. You don't need perfect English to start a conversation. You just need real courage and some simple, powerful tools. Let me repeat. You do not need to speak like a native. You do not need to know fancy words. You do not need to have a big vocabulary. You just need a few go-to phrases, a confident tone, and a willing heart. Let's now break down the entire idea into small steps. Part 1. Mindset. Your thoughts before you speak. Before we even talk about words, let's talk about mindset, because this is where most people stop themselves. 1. Don't be afraid of mistakes. You will make mistakes. Native speakers make mistakes too. So stop trying to be perfect. Instead, focus on being friendly, clear, and open. When you worry about grammar, you freeze. When you focus on connection, you speak. 2. Everyone wants to connect. You might think, why would someone want to talk to me? But the truth is, most people like talking. They like when someone smiles at them, asks a question, or shows interest. So if you're kind, respectful, and natural, most people will enjoy talking to you. Part 2. Simple structure. How to start talking. Now, let's talk about the structure of starting a conversation. Think of it like this. Opener. Say something to begin the chat bridge. Ask a small question or give a comment. Flow. Keep it going with natural follow-up. Close or continue. End it politely or continue. Let's explore each one in full detail with examples. Part 3. Openers. Start the conversation. You don't have to say anything magical. Just say something simple and human. Here are categories of openers. Situation-based. Openers. Use the moment you are in. Example. At a coffee shop. This place smells amazing, doesn't it? Is this your favorite drink too? Have you tried their muffins? I'm thinking about getting one. In a line. This line is taking forever, huh? Looks like everyone had the same idea today. At a bookstore. That's a great book. I've read it twice. Are you into mystery stories too? In the office. Hey, I noticed you're really quick with Excel. Did you learn it by yourself? That was a great presentation. I like the last part especially. These are not big speeches. They're like small hello doors, ways to open the room for conversation. Compliment-based openers. Give a light compliment. Example, I love your shoes. Where did you get them? That's a cool phone case. You seem really confident while speaking. I'm trying to learn that. People like compliments, especially genuine ones. Question-based openers. Ask something small, not too personal, just enough to begin. Is this seat taken? Do you come here often? Do you know when the train arrives? Do you work around here? These are simple, polite, and clear. Part 4. Bridge. Continue naturally. Now that you've opened the conversation, how do you keep it going? Here are natural bridge phrases to move smoothly. Examples. Oh, really? That's interesting. Tell me more. I've always wanted to do that. How did you get started? No way! I thought I was the only one who liked that. What do you like most about it? These responses are open, curious, and friendly. This is how a 30-second chat becomes a 5-minute talk. Then a connection. Part 5. Flow. Keep the conversation alive. Once the chat starts, how do you keep the rhythm? Use this simple method called QCC. Q was question. Ask a related question. C equals comment. Share your short opinion. C equals connect. Link it back to something else. Example. You. Is this your favorite drink? Them. Yeah, I always get this caramel latte. You. Nice. I love sweet drinks too. Comment. I usually go for iced chocolate, but this looks good. Connect. Do you try different cafes or just come here? Question. This QCC method makes you sound fluent and natural, even if your English is simple. Part 6. Foundation phrases. Keep these ready. Some phrases help you relax and sound confident. Here are a few. Agreeing. Exactly. I know what you mean. Totally. That makes sense. I feel the same way. Asking naturally. What about you? How about that? What do you think? Has that ever happened to you? Changing topics. Smoothly. By the way, speaking of that reminds me. Before I forget, ending nicely. It was really nice talking to you. Thanks for the chat. Hope to see you again. Enjoy the rest of your day. Part 7. Real-life situations. Practice anywhere. Let's now take everything we learned and apply it in real places. I'll guide you with examples. Grocery store. You. Looks like we both love mangoes. Them. Haha, yeah, they're finally in season. You. Do you know if these are sweet? I always pick the wrong ones. Them. These ones are usually good. You. Thanks. I'm Alex, by the way. Them. Nice to meet you. I'm Maya. Now you've started a humankind natural chat. Train station. You. Is the 6:30 train usually late? Them. Sometimes. Depends on the day. You. Ah, I'm new to this route. Still learning. Them. Yeah, it takes a while. You. Thanks for helping. You take this train often? Again. Small start, big conversation. Airport. You. Long flight ahead? Them. 13 hours to New York. You. Wow. I hope you brought snacks. Them. Haha, I did. You. I'm going to LA. First time flying this far. Language class. You. Your pronunciation is really good. Them. Thanks. You. How do you practice speaking? I'm trying to improve mine. Them. Mostly watching shows. You. Same. Which ones do you recommend? Now you're learning and connecting at the same time. Part 8. Practice by yourself. If you feel shy, practice these conversations alone first. Speak in front of a mirror. Record yourself. Use apps or AI like me to practice. Write dialogues in a notebook. Repeat until it feels like breathing. Part 9. Confidence tricks. Here are some quick confidence boosters. Smile. It makes your voice friendly. Slow down. Don't rush your words. Stand or sit tall. Posture improves your energy. Breathe before speaking. Helps calm your nerves. Think in English. Avoid translating. Part 10. Leverage technology and resources. You don't have to rely solely on in-person practice. Here are some tech tools and resources to supercharge your conversation skills. Language exchange apps. Tandem. HelloTalk. Speaky. Connect with native speakers who want to learn your language. How to use. Send a friendly opener like, "Hi, I'm practicing English. Would you like to chat about our cultures?" Voice recording and playback. Why it helps. You catch pronunciation issues and hesitations. Exercise. Record yourself using one of our 10 phrases to start any conversation. Then listen back and note areas to smooth out. Shadowing videos and podcasts. Method. Listen to a short dialogue, pause, and immediately repeat out loud, matching tone and pace. Benefit. Builds muscle memory, reduces translation lag. AI chatbots for simulation. Tip. Ask the bot to role-play specific scenarios, e.g., pretend you're a barista. I'm ordering coffee. Goal. Practice varied contexts without fear of judgment. Online meetup groups. Platforms. Meetup.com, Facebook groups, Eventbrite. Strategy. Attend themed gatherings, book clubs, tech talks, travel chats. Prepare one opener based on the theme. Part 11. Common mistakes and how to fix them. Being aware of pitfalls helps you navigate conversations more smoothly. Mistake. Why it happens. Quick fix overthinking grammar. Fear of mistakes stops you from talking. Use good enough grammar. Focus on meaning. Asking too many yes-no questions. Conversation stalls. Balance with open-ended questions. Who, what, how. Monopolizing the talk. Nervousness or desire to impress. Follow the 50-50 rule. Speak half the time. not listening fully. You're planning your next line. Paraphrase what they said before responding. Jumping topics abruptly. You're trying to fill silence. Use transition phrases. That reminds me. Part 12. Full role play demonstration. Let's run through a complete dialogue step by step. I'll be you, and they will be your conversation partner. Scene. You're sitting in a co-working space at a shared table. You, smile, relaxed posture. Hi there, I like your laptop sticker. Is that from a conference? They, smile back. Oh, thanks. Yes, I got it at the developer week last month. You, bridge. Developer week. Sounds interesting. Did you present or just attend? They. I attended mostly, but I also gave a lightning talk on web accessibility. You, QCC. Question. That's awesome. How did your talk go? Comment. Accessibility is something I really care about. Connect. I actually worked on a project last year to improve site navigation for screen readers. They. No way, that's cool. What challenges did you face? You. Mainly juggling performance with compatibility. Some libraries were heavy. What about you? What did you learn most at the conference? They. I learned a lot about semantic HTML. It's amazing how small changes help so much. You, closing or continue. If you need to leave soon, this was great. Thank you for sharing. I have a call in a few minutes, but I'd love to continue sometime. Mind if I get your contact? If you're free, tell you what, there's a talk on CSS Grid in 10 minutes. Want to check it out together? Notice how each step, opener, bridge, flow with QCC, and either closing or extending naturally, creates a genuine connection. Part 13. Frequently asked questions. Q1. What if they don't respond? A. Pause, smile, and try a different opener. They might be busy or shy. For example, comment on the environment. This playlist is great, isn't it? Q2. How do I handle awkward silence? A. Use a bridge phrase. By the way, or ask something totally new. I'm curious. If you could travel anywhere tomorrow, where would you go? Q3. What if I misunderstand them? A. Politely ask, sorry, did you mean Adi? Or, can you explain that in another way? Most people appreciate the chance to clarify. Q4. How do I practice alone? A. Role play in front of a mirror, record sample dialogues, or write mini scripts and then speak them out loud. Part 14. Recap and take-home action. Let's quickly recap the entire roadmap. Mindset. Embrace mistakes. Focus on connection. Openers. Situation-based, complement-based, question-based. Bridge. Phrases. Tell me more. That's interesting. How did you... Flow, QCC. Question, comment, connect. Foundation. Phrases, agreeing, asking naturally, topic shifts, endings. Practice everywhere. Grocery, train, airport, class. Tech tools, apps, recordings, shadowing, AI bots, meetups. Avoid mistakes. Overthinking, Yes, no traps. Silent panic. Roleplay demo. Step-by-step model. FAQs. Strategies for common hurdles. Your 3-point action plan. Today, choose one opener and use it at least once, even if just with a cashier. This week, record yourself practicing the QCC method twice. This month, join one language exchange meetup or schedule 2 AI bot role plays. Part 15. Mastering Body Language and Nonverbal Cues. English conversations aren't just about words. Your body speaks too. Here's how to align your nonverbals. Eye contact. Friendly, not intense. Aim for about 60–70% eye contact. Look away briefly to avoid staring. Why it works? Shows interest and sincerity. Smile. A genuine smile relaxes you and the other person. Tip. Think of something positive right before you speak to trigger a real smile. Open posture. Uncross your arms and legs. Lean in slightly, about 10 to 15 degrees, to show engagement. Gestures. Use natural hand movements, small, controlled gestures under your chest level. Avoid over-waving, which can be distracting. Nodding. Nodding lightly as they speak signals that you're listening and encourages them to continue. Personal space. In many cultures, standing about an arm's length apart is comfortable. Tip. If someone leans in, it's usually okay to step a bit closer. If they step back, respect that space. Part 16. Starting conversations in group settings. Talking one-on-one is easier. Groups can feel intimidating. Here's how to join in. Listen. First, observe who's talking and what they're discussing. Pick up keywords and tone. Find your entry point. If they're talking about travel. I heard you mention Bali. My friend visited last year and loved their street food. Have you tried it? If they're laughing about a movie. That scene you mentioned with the dog, was it the one in the park? I almost died laughing. Tag in technique. Address one person by name, if you know it, or use their role, e.g., "Hey, marketing team, quick thought." Then share your line and include others. I think we could also balance speaking and listening. Use the 50-50 rule. Talk half the time. Use supportive phrases. That's a great point, Sarah. Then add your thought. Be inclusive. If you see someone quiet, loop them in. Ravi, what do you think about that idea? Part 17. Digital conversations. Text, chat, and calls. English conversations happen online too. Here's how to start naturally. 1. Text and chat apps. Simple greeting plus context. Hey Maya, I just saw your post about hiking in Nepal. Looks amazing. Which trail was that? Emojis and tone. Indicators. Use or sparingly to convey friendliness. Follow-up questions. End messages with open-ended questions. What was your favorite moment? 2. Emails. Subject line as opener. Quick question about your travel blog. Body. Start. Hi, John. I loved your recent article on Tokyo's hidden cafes. I'm planning a trip and wondered. 3. Phone and voice calls. Friendly intro. Hi, This is Alex from Delhi. We met at the webinar last week. Purpose plus question. I'm following up on your recommendation for shadowing videos. Could you share your top 3 picks? Phone, small talk. If they pick up with, "How are you?" respond with a short answer, then bridge, "I'm good, thanks. By the way, I wanted to ask about Part 18, handling challenging personalities and situations." Sometimes conversations hit bumps. Here's how to navigate. The one-word responder. They reply with "yeah" or "okay." Fix. Switch topic. "No worries. By the way, did you hear about the monopolizer?" They talk nonstop. Fix. Politely interject. "That's fascinating. Could I share a quick thought before we move on?" The critic. They challenge everything you say. Fix. Acknowledge and redirect. "I see your point. What about this angle?" Awkward silence. Silence stretches. Fix. Use a bridge. "That reminds me of," or, "Speaking of that, have you ever..." Language barrier, frustration. Either party struggles. Fix. Slow down, rephrase, use simple words, and confirm. Did that make sense? Part 19. Cultural context and sensitivity. Different cultures have different norms. Being aware helps conversations flow. Greetings and titles. In some places, use first names quickly. In others, use titles, Mr., Ms., Doctor, until invited to use first names. Personal questions. Asking about family or salary can be taboo in some cultures. Stick to neutral topics like weather, hobbies, or food. Eye contact. In Western cultures, it shows confidence. In some parts of Asia, too much can be seen as rude. Adjust to the person. Small talk. Topics. Safe. Weather. Food. Travel. Risky. Politics. Religion. Only if you know the person well, and it's welcomed. Part 20. Advanced phrases and idiomatic openers. Once you're comfortable, sprinkle in some idioms to sound more natural. Shoot the breeze. Casual chat. Mind if we shoot the breeze about the weekend plans? Break the ice. I know this might feel random, but I thought I'd try to break the ice. Are you into podcasts? On the same page. Just checking we're on the same page. You prefer tea over coffee? Pick your brain. Can I pick your brain about graphic design tools? Hit me up. If you want tips later, hit me up anytime. Using 1 or 2 idioms in a conversation shows you're moving beyond basics, but don't overdo it. Part 21. Metacognitive reflection and tracking progress. Learning to speak is also about self-reflection. Keep a simple journal. Date and context. Where were you? Who with? What went well? Which opener clicked? What to improve? Where did you freeze? New vocabulary. List 2-3 new words, phrases you used. Review weekly. Celebrate small wins. I tried a new bridge phrase, or I sustained a 3-minute chat. Part 22. Personal success stories and testimonials. Hearing others succeed can boost you. Lena's story, a shy student who used the grocery store opener every Saturday. Within 2 months, she was confidently chatting with neighbors about cooking recipes. Ravi's breakthrough, used language exchange apps to pick people's brains on cricket. After 10 chats, he co-hosted an online sports discussion group in English. Sarah's tip. She read aloud role-play scripts in her car every morning. Now she rarely hesitates and even jokes with her barista in English. Your story could be next. Keep practicing and note your own progress. Part 23. Bonus Practice Worksheet. Printable. List 5 places you visit weekly, e.g. gym, café. For each place, write one opener from our categories. Write a bridge question for each opener. Role play, out loud or with a partner, and record yourself. Reflect. What felt natural? What needs tweaking? Feel free to screenshot or jot this down in your notebook. Part 24. Complete summary and final motivation. You now have a mindset shift. Embrace mistakes. Focus on connection. Openers. Situation-based. Compliments. Questions. Idioms. Bridge phrases to transition smoothly. The QCC flow to sustain talk. Nonverbal cues to reinforce your words. Group conversation tactics. Digital chat starters for text, email, phone. Advanced idioms to spice up your speech. Strategies for difficult interactions and cultural sensitivity. Tools, apps, recording, shadowing, AI bots, meetups. A reflection journal and worksheet. Success stories to inspire you. Now, here's your final challenge. For the next 7 days, use at least 5 different openers in 5 different contexts. Track your wins and struggles. By day 8, you'll see real improvement. And more importantly, you'll feel unstoppable.
Hi, my name is Alex. Today I want to share with you my journey of learning how to start a conversation in English anywhere, and how that simple skill opened doors I never even knew existed. I'll take you from the very first nervous moment to the confident chats I have now, and I'll explain every little step in detail. The thoughts in my head, the words I chose, the questions I asked, even the way I held my body. Think of this not as a lesson, but as a real life story, something you might hear from a friend over coffee. It all began 6 months ago, when I moved to a new city for my internship. I didn't know a soul. My mornings were quiet. I'd buy coffee, find a table in the cafe, sip in silence, and scroll through social media, wishing I could talk to someone. But every time I thought about saying hi, my heart pounded. My palms got sweaty, and I'd retreat to my phone. One afternoon, I decided, enough waiting. I remembered something I'd read. You don't need perfect English, just courage and a plan. I wrote down 3 simple openers on a sticky note. This place smells amazing, doesn't it? Excuse me, do you know if they have almond milk? Hi, I like your backpack. Where did you get it? That night, I practiced in front of the mirror. I stood tall, uncrossed my arms, smiled. A genuine smile, I triggered by thinking of my dog at home. And I said each line out loud, listening for pauses, noticing where I stumbled. The next day, I walked into the cafe with my note tucked in my pocket. I spotted a girl reading a thick novel, her leather backpack at her feet. My heart raced. I took a deep breath, Remembered to nod lightly and maintain about 60% eye contact, not a stare, and I stepped closer. Hi, I said, voice a bit shaky. I like your backpack. Where did you get it? Her eyes brightened. Oh, thanks. It's from a small shop downtown, Stylus& Co. I smiled wider. Stylus& Co. I've never been there. Do they have more colors? From that simple opener, we talked for 10 minutes about bookstores, art supplies, and our favorite reading spots. I used the QCC method automatically. QC. Do you go there often? C. I love indie shops like that. C. Connect. Last week, I discovered a stationery shop near my apartment. Has the best sketch pens? As I spoke, I noticed my hands moving naturally, small gestures under chest level, mirroring her excitement. I nodded when she spoke. I remembered to smile. I felt like I could actually do this. A few days later, on the train to work, I saw a man struggling with his phone's language settings. I sat across from him and opened with a situation-based opener. Excuse me, do you know how to switch this app to English? I've only used it in Hindi. He looked relieved. Oh, sure, tap here and then here. He showed me patiently. I thanked him, then added a bridge. I'm trying to improve my English. Do you use any apps to practice? We chatted the whole ride. He recommended a voice recording app. I showed him a podcast I liked. We exchanged usernames later on a language exchange app. One Saturday, I attended a weekend co-working meetup. I arrived early and felt that familiar flutter of nerves. But this time I reminded myself, everyone wants to connect. I found a group talking about travel. They were laughing about a campsite they once stayed at. I listened, then used an idiomatic opener I'd been practicing. Mind if I shoot the breeze about your camping trip? They welcomed me instantly. I laughed with them about mosquitoes, muddy tents, and the best campfire recipes. We swapped travel stories for over an hour, and I left with 3 new friends. My breakthrough came when I volunteered to lead a short icebreaker at my internship's weekly meeting. Normally, I'd never volunteer, but I wrote down 2 things. A light compliment opener. I appreciate how everyone contributed ideas last week. It really helped me understand our project. A follow-up bridge. I'm curious, what's one tool you found most useful? Standing at the front, I took a deep breath, smiled at the team, and spoke. They responded with nods and smiles. My voice was steady. When someone gave a one-word answer, I shifted topics smoothly. By the way, has anyone tried the new project management app our UX team mentioned? And the conversation flowed. Behind each of these moments were mental checklists, mindset, embrace mistakes. I told myself, if I stumble, it's okay. People will help me recover. Openers. I rotated between situation-based, compliment-based, and question-based lines so I never felt stuck. Bridge phrases. I kept, tell me more. That's interesting, and what did you like most? In my mental pocket. QCC flow. Every time I spoke, I asked a question, made a comment, and connected it to my own experience. Nonverbals. I watched my posture, open arms, slight lean forward, nodding, and genuine smiles. Reflection. Each evening, I jotted down in my journal, what opener worked, where did I freeze? After that moment in the cafe, I realized my story was only getting started. Here's what happened next, and how each new step taught me even more about starting conversations in English anywhere. A week later, I was invited to a friend's birthday dinner. It was a mix of colleagues, college pals, and people I'd never met. Circling the table, I spotted two folks chatting about the latest sci-fi show. I leaned in, remembering my compliment opener. Hey, I overheard you talking about Starlight Horizons. Their special effects are incredible, right? They paused, then smiled. Absolutely. The space scenes blew my mind. Bridge. I agree. I was especially amazed by that asteroid chase in episode 4. Have you seen behind the scenes footage of how they filmed it? Within seconds, I was part of their conversation, exchanging theories about the plot, sharing favorite characters, and even debating which actor did the best job. As I spoke, I noticed I felt more relaxed. My shoulders weren't hunched, my hands gestured naturally, and I met each person's eyes. 2 weeks later, I attended a weekend hackathon. I was teamed up with developers from 3 different countries, and English was our common tongue. During the icebreaker round, my heart thumped. Introductions under the fluorescent lights always felt a bit nerve-wracking. I decided to use an advanced idiomatic opener for my turn. Hi, everyone. I'm Alex. I'm excited to dive in and hit the ground running, especially after seeing how creative this room is. A few laughs rippled through the group. The phrase, hit the ground running, broke the ice instantly. People nodded and shared how they, too, wanted to jump straight into coding. I followed up with my signature bridge. What part of the project are you most pumped about? From there, we mapped out roles, joked about snack breaks, and bonded over our mutual love for caffeine. One evening, I ran into Maya, the girl from the cafe, at a weekend art exhibit. She was with a group of friends discussing a modern sculpture. I greeted her with a warm smile and our familiar opener. Hi, Maya. That sculpture is wild, isn't it? What's your take on it? She introduced me to her friends, and I smoothly pivoted to group conversation. I'm Alex. Maya and I met at the cafe last month. I'd love to hear your thoughts on how shapes and textures change perception. As we walked through the exhibit, we discussed everything from color theory to favorite artists. When one friend seemed quieter, I invited her in. Sophie, you studied fine arts in college, right? How do you see the use of steel here? Soon, even Sophie was animatedly sharing her insights. A month later, my manager asked me to present our project to a visiting client, a formal setting where small talk before and after the meeting mattered. I felt a flutter of nerves, but I'd practiced enough to feel ready. Before the meeting started, I approached the client with a situational opener. Good morning. This building has an amazing lobby, doesn't it? I love the natural light pouring through those skylights. He smiled and agreed, remarking how the architecture reminded him of another office he visited. Bridge. Have you had a chance to explore the city yet? From that opener, I learned he was a museum enthusiast, so I shared my favorite local exhibit and booked that conversation in my mental journal as a win. During the formal presentation, I found that the client already felt at ease talking to me. Our pre-meeting chat had built rapport. After the slides, he leaned forward and said, I appreciate how personable your team is. It makes a big difference. That moment taught me that genuine small talk isn't fluff. It's the foundation for real business relationships. Reflecting back, I realized how each episode built on the previous one. Birthday dinner. I learned to listen actively in group settings and tag others in. Hackathon. I saw the power of idiomatic openers to create instant camaraderie. Art exhibit. I practiced inviting quieter people into the discussion, making everyone feel included. Client meeting. I fused casual small talk with professional settings to strengthen business ties. I also kept evolving my journal practice. Each night I wrote scene and opener, where I was, what I said first, outcome, how the person or group responded. Body language. Notes. Did I smile enough? Was my posture open? Phrase of the day. A new expression I used. E.g., hit the ground running. Mind if I shoot the breeze? Lesson learned. What I'd tweak next time. Soon, this practice became an automatic part of my routine, like brushing my teeth. And the more I wrote, the more confidence I saw in my spoken English. Today, 6 months from that first sticky note, English conversations feel like second nature. I'm not searching for words, I'm making connections. People tell me I'm easy to talk to, that I make conversation flow naturally. But all I did was follow those simple steps again and again. Choose an opener that fits the moment. Maintain friendly body language, smile, nod, open posture. Use a bridge question or comment to deepen the chat. Flow with QCC, question, comment, connect. Invite everyone in, especially in groups. Reflect and journal. Note what worked, what didn't. If you're reading this and thinking, I could never do that, know this, I was there too. I started with shaky knees and a heart pounding so loud I thought everyone could hear it. But each small chat chipped away at the fear. Each time I stumbled and recovered, I learned to trust myself more. So here's the final scene in my story, for now. I'm sitting in that same cafe where it all began, this time chatting with 3 new friends about our favorite podcasts. I look around and realize I'm no longer alone. I'm part of a community. A gentle smile crosses my face as I share a laugh with them. And I know this is just the beginning of countless conversations to come. Your story can pick up from here. Every time you take that small step, whether it's complimenting someone's backpack, asking about the weather, or sharing your favorite show, you're writing your own conversational journey. And I can't wait for you to fill its pages with amazing experiences.